I guess no sense in asking if he's been naughty or nice. Here's your look at the NECA toys. This is the Chucky Ultimate Chucky Action Figure Holiday Edition. Add some ho-ho horror to your collection with NECA. This Ultimate Chucky action figure features everyone's favorite murderous doll decked out for the holidays, as seen on the hit coming-of-age TV series Chucky. When a vintage doll turns up in a suburban yard sale, an idyllic summer town is thrown into chaos as a series of horrifying murders begin to expose the town's hypocrisies and secrets. Dressed in soft goods holiday sweater, this festive figure comes with a killer lineup of accessories: interchangeable heads and hands, bloody and clean Santa hats, bloody and clean safety goggles, Santa's list, milk and cookies, Chucky mug, chainsaw, and kitchen knife. Well, he wasn't under my tree this year. Maybe I was naughty. Was I naughty? Either way, while I think about that, I had to wait a little longer to actually order this one online, finally getting around to looking at him a tad bit too late. Holiday Chucky, though, is essentially going to be using the same body as the original TV series Chucky, just with a little bit of extra red. No, not holiday red. Well, I guess it still would be holiday red. It's blood, though. It's blood. Chucky, though, is going to stand at 4 inches in height, working out, though, to be a figure that's about 10 centimeters tall. Sort of having a little extra rouge and decking the halls with festive flair, he still essentially is using the same body as the TV series Chucky. The only thing that's different, though, and while still using similar faces, you can probably already notice that the holiday treatment of Chucky does have flatter hair. I don't know if he switched the shampoos. That doesn't give him nearly the volume he had before, but they may have actually made the hair a little flatter to accommodate his Santa's hat, and the figure does come include with 2 of them. Bringing in some other identifying Chuckies, here's what the figure looks like with the Bride of Chucky, and of course going back to the basics, here's what he also looks like with the original Ultimate release. See? He doesn't hate the holidays. Quite the contrary, in fact. Chucky has everything that you could imagine for a holiday treatment Chucky. The figure, first of all, does come include with a naughty and nice list, although you may notice that everybody's listed on this list is already naughty. I think Chucky should be really top of that list. This, unfortunately, though, is paper. I know the argument could be made, like, if it's going to be paper in the show, why can't it be paper as an accessory? Just because, like, the longevity of things like this, they're never going to hold out well, especially if you're going to be putting this in the figure's hands. But again, like, being that it's paper, I mean, they can't really release it necessarily in plastic. I guess it's not a bad thing that it is a paper note. Off to the side it goes. The figure does also come included with a mug. As you can see, it does have Chucky feature on the front. Hot cocoa, coffee perhaps, I don't know, either one of those could be inside the mug, and he has the means to hold it. He doesn't have, unfortunately, though, the means, either apparently I can't either. He has the means, doesn't have the means to hold the milk. The milk just is way too big. Even if you just take like his biggest grip hand, like he just can't hold it. So if you had yourself like a little tiny tabletop, we're talking like really small, you could put yourself the glass of milk there. You could put yourself, again, the warm plate of cookies off to the side like that, and just have it ready for Santa. And maybe even put the naughty and nice list there as well. But while he doesn't have the means to hold the milk, a nice little glass of milk, I probably could use it maybe for some other figure. What other character is known for drinking a lot of milk? It's what a weird question to be posing. Leave it with me. I'll think about it. Yeah, a warm plate of cookies is also delivered here for Chucky. I would imagine that those are probably 5 cookies, although like these 2 cookies look like maybe they put them on the plate while they're way too warm, and they sort of have just blobbed together like the people in Society. Don't watch Society. Anyways, you get yourself a little plate of cookies. Let's put it off to the side. If you like the idea of cookies, though, who doesn't, right? He does also come included with 1 standalone cookie. That looks like he's already taken a bite of that. How does even really Chucky eat? I mean, we kind of have to think about this for a second. He has like an entry in, like he's got a mouth, but he doesn't have an exit. I don't want to spend a lot more time talking about the exits of Chucky, but it just doesn't seem like if he's going to be eating cookies. I know what water is like sitting inside of a plastic doll. I can't even imagine what a cookie would be. Sit there left to the last of time, just stewing, fermenting, and getting all gross. Again, let's just stop talking about that. The figure, like I said, does come included with hands, by the way, so if you want to have him holding the cookie, this probably isn't the best hand to do that. I mean, he has a much smaller grip that I've already taken the liberty of putting onto his forearm, but he has like little tiny gripping hands. I know, this isn't really the best hand for that. The figure also does come included with a knife. Now the knife, not sharp to the touch luckily, seems to be though, I'm just going to bring in the original knife that we got from the TV series Chucky, is probably one of the only few accessories, not counting Chucky or the heads themselves, that are carryovers from the original release. No blood, no, hey, that's not cranberry sauce. Nothing though on the blade to indicate that Chucky's been busy with it. I couldn't help but though notice that the blade on the new holiday release is a little bit more shinier of a silver, but it seems other than that, they are exactly the same. This, by the way, though, the hand that I was trying to use to hold the cookie earlier would be, though, a better hand to hold the knife. Again, just kind of slide the blade into the knife, or slide the handle of the blade into his hand. Stop that. Just get that in there. The figure also does come include a couple of other swappable hands. Even though he has quite a lot of blood all over his body, you'll find that there's very little blood in the way of his hands. These actually are the only two hands that he has that has actually blood on them. A good splatter of that on one side, a few little drips on the other. I mean, obviously, if you want to be using Chucky, though, with the... well, again, he doesn't have the bloody knife, but if you want to give him, like, the chainsaw, chainsaws make a bit of a mess. That's a bit of an understatement. These might be probably the better hands to hold for the chainsaw. Let's move on to the side. The figure does also have, for his safety, maybe not necessarily yours, he has safety goggles. A regular clean pair where he hasn't yet started what he's doing, and then the finished, oh, I need to clean up. Does Chucky even really care about cleaning up after he's made a mess? Probably not. But there's blood all over the safety goggles. The safety goggles, if I can actually just use one of these heads for an example, and the heads, by the way, are the same ones that we got with the original TV release. So where is that Chucky head sculpt? Is it this one? It's this one right here. Same face, slightly lighter hair, for you can see on the holiday release, and a lot flatter. So if you want a little bit more volume, may choose to maybe use these head sculpts. And because they're also using the same universal ball joints, obviously they're using the exact same figure molds, easily you could use then this head sculpt if you want to use it for this figure, or this head sculpt. You get the idea. You get the idea. So like the faces are very similar, so let's go ahead and take the safety goggles here. And you kind of have to just pry the hair a little bit away from the face. Bad day for moisturizer. Bad day. Just take the goggles here and sort of have to tuck them inside the hair. Do it on the one side, do it on the other side. There we go. Looking nice. Now that's clean. Safety goggles also, if you want to go the route of a bloodier mess, you can choose to go with these ones instead. Let's take the goggles off. We'll put that off to the side. I already talked a little bit about the fact that the figure does come included with a chainsaw, and what a nice looking chainsaw it is too. Again, it's a little strange, the fact that he has so much going on here business-wise on the front of his sweater, and yet there's no blood at all on the teeth of his chainsaw. Chainsaw is generally quite clean. I personally, and this is just my own personal opinion, I would have probably included a bloody version of the chainsaw, because again, like, he's already got it on him. The evidence is all there. I don't know how much DNA are you going to be finding all over Chucky. Well, you're probably essentially going to be finding one DNA. I think that was the mother, right? But I think that they probably could have also added a little bit of mother's blood all over the chainsaw teeth there as well. The chainsaw can also be going, let's just, where do we put those hands? Where'd the bloody, oh, was it right over here? Was it right over here? You can take the hand, though, for that, and it just basically fits around the handle of the chainsaw, and it holds very well. Very well. The last thing the figure does also come included with, well, I shouldn't say the last thing. Before we start dressing up Chucky with a Santa sweater, the figure does also come included with two variations of Santa's hat. Cleaner, dirtier, not blood, lots of blood. The blood is everywhere, though, on this. And any one of the heads, by the way, so if you want to take like this head sculpt, for example, you can take the cleaner hat, fits perfectly fine over the head. Now, let's just say if you want to take the TV, the regular version of Chucky, you can already see it's a lot harder for a time. It still holds, but you really have to put a lot of pressure to get that down on his head. And probably, again, one of the reasons why NECA, I would imagine, probably would have gone with the flatter hair, just so it would be a lot easier for him to hold the Santa's hat, or wear the Santa's hat. So again, there's the cleaner one. If you want to switch right away to something a little bit more bloodier, massacring it, there we go, you can hit the bloodier version instead. And that works with that head. It certainly does work with the one that's look at the blood all over this one. You can also use it as well with this face sculpt too. The last thing we kind of want to discuss here, though, is the fact that Chucky does come also include with a Christmas sweater. It's not an ugly sweater, although it probably will be soon because it's going to be covered in blood. It does Velcro, though, on the back. I've done this a couple of times where I put this the wrong way. Can you believe that? If you kind of want to look at this as a help or a hint, look at the ho-ho-hos. If you put it the wrong way, oh-oh-ohs, you put it the wrong way. I just thought of that now. That's actually kind of clever. But if you want to do this, what you basically do is just kind of move Chucky's arms forward. Before we do that, by the way, I guess before we actually put a sweater on him, show you guys, though, that he's the exact same body as original TV series Chucky. A little messier, a little bloodier. That's definitely not cranberry sauce. It's all over his arms. It's all over his hands. It's all over even the back of his body. How does it get everywhere? And yet, though, it doesn't seem to be anywhere on his shoes, or his legs for that matter. For whatever business that Chucky's doing, it only seems to affect like from his waist up. But essentially, it's the exact same body. So let's go ahead and just dress up Chucky here. Ho, ho, ho is the right way to go. And we'll just go ahead and slide this. Now, you don't really even have to remove his hands if you don't want to either. Just slide him up, slide him up. This might be possibly the smallest figure I think I've ever had to dress up. I would say it's like dressing a small toddler, but I mean, I don't know what toddler you have that's this size, but basically just fit that up his sleeves, bring it around to the back here, and of course you got the clasps on the one side, and you got the hooks on the other. I think Velcro is like one of those things, it's like Scotch tape. It's not really what it is, it's the company that owns it. So I think Velcro is Velcro, the company that makes it. But if you look to buy like a knockoff or a third-party Velcro company, you'd look online, like especially if you're ordering on Amazon, you'd look up hooks and loops. I think it's hooks and loops tape. Does anybody really care? Nobody really cares. Anyways, though, you're basically just going to take the Velcro and you clasp them on the back there with the hooks and the loops. And now you got yourself Chucky with the Christmas sweater. I personally would go to display this guy, I think, on the shelf with the sweater myself. I mean, obviously it's covering over all the blood underneath, but I think it just makes for a much jollier looking little, well, I would say like a good guy doll, but, you know, still pretty cool, though. And again, like if you wanted to change out the more bloodier face, it's just a case of popping off. So he has like this head sculpt. He's got the laughing face sculpt, which again are all carryovers from the original Chucky. So there's nothing really different here. So there's the original TV series Chucky. This is the bloody variant. Which one? This one is the bloody variant. Exactly the same. The only thing that isn't released with this figure that the original one could say that it had was the melted face. Ooh, that's a sore for sight eyes. So this doesn't come included with it, but again, like being that they are using the same socketed joint, it's so easy you could just, you know, pop the head off and replace with the one that you want to use. So we'll just take this off right now. It's so difficult sometimes to pull these heads off the ball joints. If, by the way, you're having a tough time, I find it also is a little easier to, if you turn it to the side, just get your finger under the lip of the hair and sort of pry it back that way. That's not the noise. That's not the noise you want to be hearing. And then just put the new head there in place. So there's the bloodied face. And then just to complete the look, while of course the sweater's still clean, take the Santa's hat. Oh, that looks nice. How about a family photo for the holidays? Okay, so I guess we've run through the articulation on the figure. So if you're familiar, obviously, with this guy, you're going to be familiar with the articulation on this guy as well. Obviously, some of this is going to be a little bit more concealed, being the fact that he does wear the sweater. Should we just take the sweater off? Okay, let's take the sweater off. Probably be easier to show you guys what everything is looking like underneath. So we'll just kind of slide them off the sleeves, slide his arms off the sleeves on the other side there as well. Talk amongst yourselves while I'm doing this. Okay, that didn't take that long at all. So the articulation on Chucky here is exactly the same as the original one. Whether you have a Santa's hat on him or not, a ball joint for the head is going to allow the head to go down, up, back, and forth, and technically rotate it all the way around. Don't worry, you can do that with a possessed doll. A normal human being, don't go up to them and start turning their head all the way around. You'll likely kill them. Oh, most definitely you'll probably kill them, and you're going to go behind bars for the rest of your life. Don't do that, whatever you do. The arms do come out, not quite, I would say, at a T pose, but a little less than 90. You can, of course, take those arms and rotate them all the way around. All the other way around as well. The single hinge is only afforded for the figure, so he's got a bend in the elbow there, but he does have a rotation there for his forearm, and you can, of course, rotate the hands all the way around. The upper torso is not really going to be doing a whole lot of anything, really. I mean, like, you can kind of get in there, you can kind of turn, you can kind of see, I say it kind of a lot, you can see, really, that his body is going to rotate behind the coveralls. So there's some ball joint action happening there. Legs split out, ball joints there. You can take the legs and move forward only by just a little bit. How much a little bit? That much a little bit. How much a little bit on the back? That much a little bit on the back. Single hinge on the knee, rotation down below for the leg, articulation here for the ankle. You can rock it back and forth there as well. And Chucky doesn't have peg holes on the bottoms of his feet, but let me just spend some time to just talk a little bit about the fact that they sculpted the soles on the bottoms of his feet. Looks good. You know, again, like I was a little disappointed. I really wanted to look at this guy during Christmas time. And it just, as it was, it just never worked out that way. I had ordered it originally over on Entertainment Earth, but they just didn't have it at the time. When I really wanted to look at like holiday themed things here on this channel. Ultimately, though, I think I just canceled because I don't even think they still have it. No, they have it, but it's still pushed on to like January 2025. It might even be pushed on into February. Most of the online sites seem to be in the same state. So what I just ended up doing was I ordered this guy on, I think it was on eBay. But again, like bring this guy back in, the original Chucky from the TV series. I think there's definitely enough going on for this figure, even though they are using the same heads. But when you start to kind of add up things that he has, for example, the Christmas sweater, he has Santa's hats, and on top of that, he's got himself like a chainsaw, the Chucky mug, the naughty and nice list, a glass of milk that he can't hold, but that's okay. There's enough certainly for the holiday Chucky that even if you don't celebrate the holiday season, it's certainly a good figure to be picking up, especially if you're a fan of Chucky. Even if you're not a fan of the TV series, I wasn't a fan of the TV series. I love the fact that we got ourselves a holiday release based at least on his appearance in the show. I don't even know why I looked this up online. Characters in movies and TV that drink milk. Apparently it happens a lot more than I initially thought it was, to the point that there's several, and I mean several articles all discussing it. One said article I stumbled onto says there's actually a reason characters always drink milk in movies. The more you know. The more you know also, something I did want to make a correction to something I mentioned in this review. I said only a couple of Chucky's hands actually have blood on them. Out of these 6 hands that he has, ironically enough, the ones that are currently holding the clean chainsaw are the only clean hands that he has out of the 6. The other 4 are completely saturated in blood, along with the rest of his good guy outfit and the Santa's hat. If you choose to have a cleaner look to Chucky, you probably may want to go the route of putting on the holiday sweater. Just though, make sure you're putting on the right way, because ho 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 so quickly could become oh oh oh. And then you put the sweater on the wrong way. One thing, though, I do like about Chucky is, even though, yes, it's using a lot of the same mold, they clearly had to go in there and retool brand new hair to accommodate the Santa's hat. And then at least there's enough holiday offerings here that you don't feel like you're just getting a carbon copy of the same Chucky from before. What do you guys, though, think of Holiday Edition Chucky? I'm asking this, I'm sure, to people that have already ordered this guy or picked this guy up months ago, but you can let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think of the figure. If you did also enjoy this video, you can do it a solid and throw it a like. If you guys want to stick around for more, so I hope so. Hope so. Oh, we're late for that. But make sure, you're coming back to this channel, because there's definitely going to be a lot more NECA reviews coming your way for the rest of this week. As always, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.